change that.
It ain't too late at any age.
Good morning and welcome to the Indy Boomer Show. I'm Mary Pat McKee and I'm sitting here this morning with Cathy Bertling. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
I should, after all these years, know how to say it. She's with American Senior Communities and we're going to be talking about some different topics. You see on the screen there, that is our July cover of Indy Boomer magazine, The Women of Indy Radio, Christy Lee, Julie Patterson, and Terry Stacy. It's a good read, so pick it up at any Kroger. Almost said Marsh, but any Kroger store in Indianapolis or the surrounding areas and get yourself a copy. And of course, we want to thank our sponsors this morning of Noblesville Trophies and Logan Street Signs and Banners for letting us have this opportunity to have the show. So we can talk about what we want to talk about. Cathy is with American Senior Community. Actually, let's be specific, Allisonville Meadows.
I'm with the Allisonville Meadows Assisted Living.
Yeah.
We also have Allisonville Meadows Skilled Care, so we are a full continuum.
Yes, which means they've got everything, basically. I mean, you've got the rehab, you've got the assisted living, the skilled care, and
the assisted living memory care and
memory
skilled
care.
Memory care. So we have two different levels.
That's right.
Of memory
we do
care.
have two, yeah, and there is a difference between those two. Anyway, Allisonville Meadows is south of 106.
It is.
Go ahead.
Great location, not too far off 465, but very convenient to Carmel,
Yeah.
Fishers especially, Castleton, Geist. So we find that just our location is very convenient for a lot of families that have siblings spread out all over town.
Yeah, and you know, if you think about it, up on this side of town, I mean, there's other facilities, but there's nothing really close to yours.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that a lot of other communities are very insulated within Fishers or Carmel.
Yeah.
I think that the real positive aspect of ours for big families is that not everybody lives in Hamilton County. You know, that we have folks that have kids on the west side, the east side, and they want it to be accessible for them too.
Yeah, and you're right up from 465,
Right
so
there.
very, very easy on that. And you guys not only have those 5 different areas of expertise that you can offer, but you also have lots of different things that happen, activities. Tell us about some of those things.
Oh yes, it's a very active lifestyle. A lot of people have the misnomer that when you move to assisted living, you know, you're giving up your freedom and your independence and your activity, level. Really, you become more active. We have things that are planned all day long. It's a matter of what options you want to take advantage of. You can go shopping. You can go on dining excursions to Beef and Boards. You can enjoy the storytellers and musicians that come in. We have lots of card groups. Lots of card groups.
I assume euchre.
Oh, euchre.
Poker?
Not so much poker. That might be one that we might look at.
Get the guys doing that.
We have a men's group. We'll have to ask them if they're interested in that. We have a lot of euchre, bridge, gin rummy. Rummikube is Rummikube. It's a game that's really taken on a big fan base. So yeah.
So the bottom line is, you know, people are free to do as they wish, to join
Absolutely.
in or not join in or do whatever. You're also in the assisted. I mean, you can have your car. I mean, you're not
you're not
restricted.
stuck. No.
Now, and you've got what? You've got studio, 1 bedroom,
2 bedroom, 1 bath, 2 bedroom, 2 bath.
Oh, okay.
So we have a lot of options as far as that goes. So if you don't want to give away all your furniture, you don't have to.
Yeah.
You know, people, don't look forward to downsizing sometimes. It's a little difficult. So we have some options to bring more furniture if they like.
Okay. Well, you know, it's so interesting because my folks moved into a retirement community 6 years ago, I guess, and that was one of the hardest things, was going from a good-sized condo into an assisted living. And I think to myself, I'm starting to purge because I don't want to deal with that. I don't need all this stuff.
Yep. It's very liberating.
Yes.
To start the process is a little difficult, but once they get into it, they find that it's very energizing. You don't have all those things bogging you down, and you feel like you are a little bit more free and can enjoy doing other things and not have all that stuff.
Well, and less to clean.
That's very true. Very true.
I think that would work.
And we do housekeeping.
Oh,
so
yes.
they'll come in
that's
and
right.
clean their apartment every week. We will strip their bed linens and launder those, and their towels as well. Obviously, personal laundry services are available for those that don't want to do their own.
Right. But you also, with assisted living, you have levels of care.
We do.
Is it called levels of care?
It
Am I
is.
saying it right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
Okay.
We offer 6 different levels of care, so we can do some very minimal assistance to more extensive things, just depending upon somebody's need.
Okay.
We're not there to overdo for people. We just want to fill in the gaps and help them with the
Yeah.
things that they're struggling with,
Sure.
or that are safety risks, so that they can use their physical and emotional energy to do the things they want to do, and
Right.
not just exhaust themselves trying to get through the day.
Yeah. Examples such as giving them medicine, helping
Medication
them with a
management.
shower.
Yep. Sometimes somebody can dress themselves, but putting on their shoes is
Oh,
just a real
it's hard.
challenge.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't sound like a big deal unless you're at home and you can't get your shoes on, and then you can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just the little things that make all the difference in the world and their quality of life.
Yeah. Well, and that's something too. I know with Allisonville Meadows, and you guys have been what? What is it called?
Deficiency free.
Deficiency
Yes.
free.
Yep.
I was going to say that totally wrong. But anyway, they haven't had any problems. They're above the level that is expected for how
We
long?
have since we opened. Yesterday was our 4th anniversary.
Okay, 4
So that
years.
was pretty exciting, and we have
Yeah.
been deficiency free with the Department of Health on our annual surveys since we opened.
Yes.
I don't know of any other community. I'm sure there's
What
somebody
exactly-
out there, but
What does exactly
Do
that
that.
deficiency free mean?
so the state will send in a group of surveyors to come
Okay.
in and basically go through and examine your community top to bottom,
Okay.
your charts, your dietary, your housekeeping, your maintenance, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And a deficiency would mean a tag, something that you have not
Something
done
that's
right.
right, okay.
And so we have had perfect scores.
Okay, for 4 years in a
Very
row.
difficult to
High
do.
five.
Yes, we're very
good,
proud of
very
that.
good. Hey, we were talking before, we wanted to talk a little bit about what we call the conversation, but talking with your loved ones, possibly your parents, or maybe an elderly person that you know, that, it might not be a bad thing, but tell us about the conversation.
Well, I think that we've all had times in our lives where there's a conversation that has been a little difficult to have with somebody we care about.
Yeah.
And seeing your parents age and maybe, declining a little bit, it's a little bit hard to sit down and say, maybe we need to start thinking about this, because you don't want to hurt them.
Yeah.
You don't want to make them angry. You don't want to make them sad that, maybe they're getting to a point in their life where they're not as able as they used to be. And so I think that the key to that...
One more thing. You also don't want you don't want to make them feel like you're trying to control their life.
Absolutely.
That's a
because then they're going to get the heels in the sand.
Yeah.
No, you're not. So
Yeah.
you want to just start talking about it, I think, before it becomes a real big issue. Maybe just make it part of normal conversation here and there, even before you see the decline happen.
Yeah.
Like Mom and Dad, you're doing great. But if there comes a day that, you find yourself struggling to cook or get out of the house and go shopping,
no one important. Go ahead.
what would you like to see us do? What types of things would be important to you? Is there there's different options and living arrangements, and just kind of plant the seeds so that it's not the conversation.
Yeah, it's not like a hard conversation.
It's not like something you've never talked about before. It's not like, okay, now we're going to tell them they're not doing well. It's
Right.
just something that's been natural.
Right. Well, let me ask you this: when, and maybe you can't answer, but what age do you think most people start having that conversation with their parents?
Well, that's a difficult question, because you
Yeah.
can have somebody like we do in our building that's 102 years old and
Yeah.
zipping around with her walker,
Yeah.
involved in everything, going out to eat with her family.
Right.
And then unfortunately you can have people that are 67 years old and they've had some health issues that, have made it so that they're not so independent.
Right.
So I think that that's just a matter of each individual family.
Yeah.
But I would certainly say that by the time we get to our mid-70s,
Yes.
it's just something that doesn't need to be a topic all the time
Right.
if somebody's doing well, but make sure it's something that you've never not talked about.
Right. Right.
know.
And the thing is, too, and that's just it, talking about it, because, I would hate to think that if something were bad, if something were even bad to happen to me now, my children know what I want. They know what I want to do. So I think it's important.
Oh, very important, because
At any age, really.
don't assume that your children know what you would want.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes we think, well, it's very obvious what I would want.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's not so obvious, and you wouldn't want somebody making a decision for you that you wouldn't be happy with. So even from a senior aspect,
Yeah.
make sure you make your wishes known,
Yeah.
so that somebody doesn't make a decision that you're not happy with. Take control of your life, and
Yeah.
don't let it just, go to happenstance. Well, whatever happens,
Yeah.
happens.
Well, I just hear stories all the time of people who get behind the 8 ball, and somebody's fallen or some tragedy has happened, and then they're like, "Oh my goodness, what are we going to do?"
What are we going to do?
Yeah.
I do think it's very important to not make it a serious conversation and something
Yeah.
that's negative.
Oh, I like what you said. Just
Yeah.
do little things as you go.
And make it very lighthearted. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I saw that they do so many fun things. Would you like to maybe go and just have lunch one day, just so that we can kind of see what they're like?
Yeah.
I had a gal come in last week that isn't even looking to even think about moving for 3 to 5 years is
Yeah.
her plan.
Right.
It could happen sooner,
Yeah.
but she wanted to come in and see what type of atmosphere it was. She's going to come back next week and just have lunch with her daughter, because they always have lunch on Wednesdays.
Right.
And just try it, just to kind of
Well, I think that's really smart.
wrap her head around what her options are. Yeah,
Yeah, at least know what it is.
absolutely.
And take the pressure off the kids, because I know the pressure was never intentional, but things just happen, and it's a lot of pressure
Absolutely.
on the kids to make decisions and do
And
things.
it may seem way down the road, but I tell you what, you just never know. You can get up
Yeah.
from your
Time
chair
flies.
and twist your ankle and go down,
Yeah.
and something happens. But I do think that it is not a negative, and we don't want to give that connotation that it's
Yeah.
something awful,
Yeah.
because I think that it's all how we look at anything. Is the glass half full or the glass half empty?
Well, I think the one thing with boomers is, I hope that boomers know
Mm-hmm.
that these aren't nursing homes, because when our grandparents, which means our parents' parents, that's all there was. But it's been enough time. It's
Absolutely.
been 50 years or something. You know what I'm saying?
Well, licensed residential care, which is assisted living that has nursing care 24/7, has really come on strong in, I would say, the last 12 to 15 years.
yes.
Some of our folks were well past helping their loved ones through that point in their life, so they're still, not sure what's out there, and they still have
No,
that
I agree.
have
I
that
agree, yeah.
vision in their mind.
Yeah.
The fear of the unknown is the worst thing possible, because 9 times out of 10, it's never as bad as we imagine it to be.
Right.
And so
that's
I
true.
think if we can put some reality with it,
Yeah.
and not let people's imagination run away with them about how awful it's going to be, I think it'll be better for everybody.
Yeah, well, I think that needs to be dismayed. But one more thing, the good news is, go in, have lunch for free.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Check it out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Love to have everybody. Give us a call, plan a day. If you go out and have lunch with your mom once a week, once a month, just make it, make it an afternoon for yourselves.
Yeah,
Stop
that's
in.
a good idea. I like that. She said she always has lunch with her mom on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Should make my children do that with me.
Me too.
I don't know if they want to, though. Anyway, well, hey, thank you for watching. There again is the July issue of Indy Boomer magazine. You can pick it up at any Kroger store in Indianapolis or the surrounding areas. And also, do not forget, Boomer TV is on Sunday at Channel 8 with Patty Spittler. And this week we have a whole new lineup.
Oh,
Yeah, so it should be a good one. It is a good one. So be sure and tune into that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
It ain't too